About a month ago, I was invited up to Sheffield to meet the team that is currently working on the Hogs of War Reheated project. So last week I embarked on the journey up north to a city that, to be honest, I'd never been to before. It was only for 2 days, but I got to see a lot of the game in its current development, both in the studio and in public. My trip began with a lot of travelling. I don't live close to Sheffield, so trains were to be the order of the day. Just lots and lots of trains. Catching trains is kind of stressful, especially if you have to catch a connecting train along the way, and there's also just a lot of waiting in between. But I eventually arrived in Sheffield. The weather was awesome, the city was glimmering, and for some reason I decided to not record any more footage on my phone. Why? I don't know. I was pretty tired at that point in time, but either way, I checked into my hotel and proceeded to see the sights. Plenty of buildings, blue skies, and trams. In the evening, Hogs of War Reheated was showcased at Bungalows and Bears, a pub in the centre of town. The event itself was actually hosted by Sumo Digital, so it was a perfect place to speak to industry people. Again, I didn't record any footage at this point in the evening because the majority of games at the event were also in early development, but it did allow me to finally meet the Reheated team. The evening was then spent playing and observing people playing the game. On Friday morning, I headed to the Steel Minions game studio within Sheffield Hallam University. The irony is that Sheffield Hallam was actually one of my uni choices back in the day, so it's always interesting to think about how it could have turned out if I'd actually have done a bit more research into university courses. Anyway, the day was spent with the Reheated team and Jacob Habgood, who, as many of you know, is one of the original developers that worked on Hogs of War. The footage of Reheated that you'll see in a moment was actually part of the games I played against Jacob, which ended up with me winning. It's a strange feeling when you beat a developer at their own game, but it was good fun, not like I was a sweaty tryhard or anything. Okay, so before the gameplay is shown, there are several things you need to know. Number one, the project is still in very early development, so everything you see within the gameplay footage is not finalized. I'm talking the character models, rigs, particle effects, animation, sound, lighting, weapon design. Every major aspect is not finalized, so keep that in mind. Number two, the game is being run on a custom engine that has been built by the Reheated team. And finally, if you have any feedback or suggestions or any thoughts, let me know in the comments or indeed in the Discord.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
So, welcome everybody to Hogs of War Reheated. This is of course the map known as Hedge Maze, which we did actually play the other day in some Hogs of War multiplayer. The link to that video will be at the end of this one, but this is the gameplay between myself and Jacob. He is the Sushi Swine, I am the Garlic Grunts of course, and there are lots of talking points from this first impression. You can see that the minimap has been altered slightly, so it looks more sort of 2.5D. The UI on the HUD is just very pretty, and everything is neat and clean. First impressions are very good, and there is a lot to talk about in this video. One of the major things you will of course notice is that the character models are fairly similar in terms of how they currently look. In fact, the Sushi Swine are one of the only teams that has a different kind of hat. All the others have that sort of, standard militarized cap. But like I said at the start of the video, everything is subject to change, so it's not going to remain that way for long. But what I can say wholeheartedly is that the game feels as it should do. If you were to pick up Reheated right now and you were to play it, it would feel just as Hogs of War should do. Every shot, every explosion, just every throw, the weight, the physics, it's all there and it all feels just as the original game does. So it's in a really good spot, and it's really just about fine-tuning those extra details, so how particle effects look, how explosions are, how big they are, just those small minute features just need to be tweaked. But like I said, the game at the moment, the project as a whole is in early development, so there is currently just a lot going on. But the art style, I love it as well. The artwork on the UI for all the weapons, those are wonderful. Those are done, of course, by Louisa, who has done the majority of the artwork. And that includes the concept art that I have shown before. But I would, of course, like to thank Luke and Louise for being there with me in the studio and just showcasing everything that they've done so far on the project. And obviously, I'd also like to thank Ian Stewart for allowing me the opportunity to come up to Sheffield, meet the team, and record as much footage as I wanted to. I've got about 11 videos worth of reheated footage, which I will be uploading and showcasing as much as possible, which is awesome because that also goes hand in hand with my ability to keep you guys updated with the project, the progress that's being made, the changes that are being made as well, and, you know, just having the ability to showcase this and give my own opinions and feedback and thoughts. And your feedback is also very much appreciated. If you can just let me know everything you have to say in the comments, as always, get discussions going as we always do. And overall, just being involved in this project, even if it is from the external standpoint, is just more than I could ever have asked for. Because you guys know that I just wanted to make videos, you know, ask the questions, give you guys the answers, but having the gameplay footage and being able to make actual videos on this as I normally would, because you know my routine, I get the gameplay, I sit and I talk about it, you know, but we can go in detail with more things because, you know, I can engage more with the team, I can ask them what's going on, and we can talk about that hand in hand with the gameplay footage as well. So we can also say, you know, what's changed, what's upcoming, all that sort of stuff, just keeping you guys as updated as is humanly possible. Relevancy is something that I mentioned in my previous video, and that is very much a key standpoint of this channel and what I aim to achieve, alongside, you know, knocking Clash of Clans off the search records when you search for Hogs of War. The Reheated project is going to be a huge aspect of this game's development, not just, you know, this current project, but also the franchise as a whole. As someone who is a veteran player and a big fan of the game, you know, I want this project to succeed. I want it to reach its full potential and go as far as it can possibly go. Now, I want to know from you guys, a key question I have is that if you saw this reheated version of Hogs of War on a store somewhere, what would make you buy it? Is it nostalgia? Is it the fact that it's, you know, Hogs of War remastered and looking pretty? Or is there going to be something that you would want to see in Reheated that would make you buy it? Let me know everything you have to say about that one in the comments. I'd love to know. Personally, for me, it would just be the fact that, you know, Hogs of War is relevant and Reheated makes it relevant again, especially on a console like the PlayStation 4. It is the most updated thing that we currently have in terms of console gaming. So just being able to have a copy of the game that also includes, you know, the current voices of Rick Mail and Mark Silk, you know, all the original content is still going to be there, so you can look forward to that as well. As I have mentioned previously, all of the original maps will be in Hogs of War Reheated. I have recorded several of them, but I wasn't actually able to sit down and record absolutely every single map and mission, but we will cover as much as we possibly can when those videos are released. It will be more of an in-depth analysis of those levels and certain elements that we can pull out and discuss, but the key ones from Hedge Maze are that the bridges are a bit different. They're a bit more detailed. The skybox is very pretty, which I haven't actually showcased in this footage, but you can also see the shadows of the airship and a bunch of other things. There's the insects that are in there, the butterflies in there, the seagulls are flying above as well. So all of those little finer details that were in the original game are there and indeed working. Overall though, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I hope you all enjoyed this gameplay showcase of Hogs of War Reheated. A big thank you again to Luke, Louisa and Ian Stewart for inviting me up to Sheffield and playing the current game. It is awesome. Plenty more to come as well. And indeed, let me know your thoughts on everything in the comments below. I'm going to leave you with the rest of the gameplay as I beat Jacob by walking backwards, because walking backwards when you have an injured player is faster than walking forwards. So in the meantime, I'm going to catch you guys later for the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Sorry, sir. I hit.
Destination